All right, Grenada, Carrico, Pity, Monica, and the rest of the world. Welcome to another Mikey Life program, people. This is where it all happens. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the Mikey. It's Patriotic Day. It is the National Colors Day. It is that day before independence when we all celebrate on the workplace, in the streets with our national colors, expressing our national pride and unity. Of course, in unison, we all look the same. On National Colors Day, we have our red, our green, our gold, our yellow, however you want to call it, our ice, our green, our gold, however you want to call it, of course, all in expressing ourselves as patriots. Now, tonight, we have a lot of things to tell you about, man. Things that's happening here in Grenada and in the wider region. But today, the Thursday that feels and looks like Friday, we will not keep you too long. As usual, you know the anthem on Fridays, a Thursday that kind of comes across like Friday. So we're not going to keep you too long. We're going to allow you some time to go chill out yourself or whatever you had to do, you know what I mean? On the day before the holiday. There's an event going on. I think we have Destra and Patrice to perform tonight at an event, you know. So there's a lot. I'm not going anywhere, you know. When you become a parent, you have to spend time, you know, with the children, whether they are asleep or awake. So that's what we have planned. That's what I have planned. I hope that you have something planned for tonight and tomorrow. For those of you who will be going to the parade, well, good luck with that, all right? So let's take a look at what's making the headlines for tonight, all right? Now, the Ministry of Health has announced that they've quarantined a third person of interest, all right? So we'll talk about that in a moment. And the Spice Mask Corporation makes statement referring to proposed fancy mask guidelines for 2020. Some adjustments you'll see probably welcomed by most. Police investigating possible killing of, I said on, but it's supposed to be of an 81-year-old man in St. Patrick today. So we're going to be talking to you about that. And the father charged for failing to report sex crime against a minor. Now, we told you about a story like that. I think it was in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Probably 2 days ago, and we thought, hey, you know, that was happening there. No, it is at home. We'll talk about that. And River Road man charged in connection with his stepmother's killing. You are aware of that, so we're going to be talking about that in a while, all right? And baby tests positive for coronavirus just 30 hours after birth, all right, guys? And of course, that's in China. We're going to be talking about that. And 4 individuals under quarantine in St. Lucia. All right, so even that we will be telling you about when we return on tonight's program. Yes, Esther, what are you calling me name for? All the folks who are tuned in right now, welcome to National Colors Day, the Mikey Live edition of National Colors Day, or the other way around. All right, we're coming back after a very short break, so folks, brace all yourself. When we come back, it could be real news in all your Lily Lolo. So we're coming.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
It's one of the most anticipated events in 2020, the Grenada Music Festival, June 5th to 7th, at the home of the festival, Quarantine Recreational Park.
Fresh as the summer breeze.
12 live bands, more than 16 dynamic performers, great food and local culture. The Grenada Music Festival, June 5th to 7th, bigger and better in 2020. Get ready.
planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grand Anse, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
Why not stay in, turn off the alarm clock, and sleep some more on your perfect mattress from Quartz? For the widest range of mattresses from the world's best brands, the best value guaranteed. Shop today and let our sleep experts help you to decide on the best option to suit your needs. At Quartz, we don't just sell mattresses, we're offering you the best night's sleep. So, sleep in a little on your new mattress from Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home.
St. Paul's Sports, Cultural and Development Organization presents St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza on Sunday, 9th February 2020 at the St. Paul's Community Center. Get breakfast from 6 a.m. and lunch from 12 noon. Enjoy performances by Dash, Mystic Band, Oasis Band, Laura Lisa, Conception Dance Theatre, Comanchero Steel Orchestra, Lisa McDonald, SPGS, PBC Choir, Touch of Grace, Vinue Dances, and much more. It's a day of food, craft exhibitions, robotics displays, fashion show, and so much more. It's the St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza.
The West Indies Cricket Championship Tournament is on and in full swing.
It's gone high and it's gone over the boundary. That's gone for 6.
Thursday, February 13th to Sunday, February 16th.
You body jump crazy like Donald Trump.
4 days of exciting cricket action at the Grenada National Cricket Stadium. The region's best go head-to-head.
Smith is in the air down.
As the Windward Island Volcanoes takes on the Guyana Jaguars. Game starts 10 a.m. daily. Admission $10 at the gate. It's cricket, more cricket. At the Grenada National Cricket Stadium, Windward Island Volcanoes versus Guyana Jaguars. It's the West Indies Championship Tournament. Cricket fans, we will be seeing you there.
Alrighty, folks. So we want to welcome everyone again to another Mikey Life program. Isn't that just beautiful? Of course, folks, every year the schools and people go out in their national wear on the day before Independence Day, and today was no different. Now today, the folks in Carriacou, I wanted to make it different, yeah? And so the folks in Carriacou really came out in their numbers. The young stars, of course, they are just so lovely to look at, so wonderful to look at in their national colors, singing to some of their favorite independent songs, yes? And these are the children of the Hillsborough Pre-Primary School, all right? And they are marching through Hillsborough in their beautiful colors. It just warms your heart and reminds you of the days when you yourself used to do that. You know, there used to be Independence Street and all those things. I'm not even sure if they do Independence Street no more, but whether there is or isn't, you just look at this. It is so lovely, so beautiful to watch, yeah? How could you get vexed when you have these things to look at? Yes, so happy National Colors Day again to every Grenadian. There were various competitions and so on in the ministry and businesses and stuff doing their own thing, and I just like when we can do it like that. Now, all non-profit organizations and POs, including non-government organizations, the NGOs, you are hereby notified that the Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU, and the Anti-Money Laundering Combating Terrorism Financing Commission, in collaboration with the Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property Office wishes to invite you or a representative from your organization to a compliance symposium, and that is to be held on Wednesday, 19th February 2020, and that will be at 4:30 p.m. All right, now that's going to be at the Hospitality Suite facing the River Road side, located at the National Cricket Stadium, Media Level 2, Queen's Park, St. George. For further information and to confirm your attendance, please contact the office of the AML-CTF Commission at telephone number 444-3828. You can also email officemlcommissiongda.com. All right. Now, we are hearing again about more persons being quarantined here in Grenada, and that has to do with the whole coronavirus business. Now, folks, what we can tell you is that Grenada health officials have indeed quarantined the third person. The traveler, who was a person of interest to the Ministry of Health, had arrived in Grenada on Wednesday afternoon and was screened by Port Health and airport authorities. During the process, medical experts conducted a probing interview, temperature checks, and with the assistance of immigration officers and officials, reviewed travel documents that revealed a specific travel history, corroborating information that was already in the possession of Port Health authorities. Now, the execution of the quarantine order on this third person occurred less than 76 hours after health officials had placed a student who had returned to the island from mainland China under quarantine on Monday, February 3rd. The individual in question was a Grenadian national traveling to the Philippines and was denied entry in Hong Kong and sent back to Grenada. The Philippines and Hong Kong have each seen one death from the coronavirus, and both countries have enforced strict travel bans. In mainland China, the number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus rose about 24,000 by the end of Tuesday. Now, the Japanese government on Wednesday reported that 10 people on a cruise ship with about 3,700 passengers and crew aboard tested positive for the virus, and that everyone was likely to be kept on the ship for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin on Thursday told news agencies that although the illness itself is mild, it is a serious issue that can have an increased burden on health to our nation. All right, so the coronavirus doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Not even talks about the coronavirus. Yes, all you probably would have seen this post floating around. As promised, an amendment has been made in regards to the rules and regulations governing Spice Mass 2020. In a letter sent out to mass band leaders today, changes have been made to Rules 8 and 9, which sparked widespread discussions on social media. Well, not only on social media, but in general. Once the public started reacting to this, the CEO of the Spice Mass Corporation, Mr. Kelvin Jacob, made public that he was going to take a look into the proposed changes or the new changes, and of course will update the general public accordingly. So today we did receive this correspondence. Of course, it was sent out, and of course the media got a hold of it, and it was seen that the controversial parts were struck down. They were taken out of the whole business. You understand? It said in a letter to the mass band leaders. Because initially, this is who it went out to, because they had to actually sign this document. You understand? In order for them to get the go ahead to participate and to sell their costumes and so on for carnival. All right. Okay. It says, as promised, the board of directors of the Spice Mart Corporation have reviewed the rules and regulations governing Spice Mart 2020. And has made the following amendments, which supersedes rule number 8 and number 9. All right. The new regulations now reads 8. No full body paint, and there will be 0 tolerance for nudity and indecent exposure. It says, please see the attached full document, blah, 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 blah. We want to thank you for understanding in this regard, and blah, 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 blah. And it says, kind regards, Miss Della Callis. Right? Hey Della, how are you doing? Hi. Nice child, you know. I'll tell you Della alone. We're fighting, a nice child. Anyway, so basically, that's the new update with regards to the whole business. There's a lot of talk, and there are still people who are for the amendments, but probably those who were against it were more vocal, and probably they were more in number. I don't know. You understand? So that change has been made. Folks, we are moving on. How are we looking for time? Earlier today, we received word that a man was possibly killed at his home in St. Patrick. Word started circulating quickly of this incident. There are a lot of speculations surrounding the death of the man, in terms of how he was found and all that. Police, they are investigating this. 81 years old now. The man is 81 years old. He's actually of a Coconut Row, St. Patrick. According to police, the elderly man was found at his home at about 10 a.m. on Thursday, 6 February. Well, that's today. They're saying that an autopsy is pending to determine the actual cause of death. We will not go ahead of the police and say nothing. You understand? Despite what we have gotten from our sources. You understand, people? So when police do their investigation and someone is charged, hey, this will confirm Grenada's 4th killing for 2020 so far. We in February 6, you know. That one different, boy. That one different. Because you know what going on? Was it in 2008 or something like that when we had a lot of, you know? But it was never like that. I do not know. In recent history, when last we have had 4 homicides, 4 killings within 40 days. Really that one. Really that one. You know what I mean? We will leave that one day. We going 4. 4. Yet we are patriots. You know what I mean? Yet we are patriots. A 45-year-old man who appeared in court on Wednesday, 5th February 2020 on a charge of failing to report the suspected abuse of a minor has been remanded to prison. Damn, police don't make it no joke, Jed. The charge was laid against the father on the heels of a charge of attempted rape that was preferred against a male child. Both father and son appeared before the magistrate, Francine Foster, where they were remanded to Her Majesty's Prison and Grand Bacolet Rehabilitation Center, respectively. So father go one way, son go the other. They will reappear in court on Wednesday, 12 February 2020. You ever hear that? No. Section 183D of the Criminal Code Amendment Act of 2012 makes it mandatory for any parent or guardian of a child who has reasonable grounds to believing that a sexual offense has been committed in respect to a child or of a child to report the grounds for his or her belief to a police officer as soon as reasonably practicable. Mandatory reporting of suspected abuse of a child. Section 183D1 says any person who A. is the parent or guardian of a child, B. has the actual custody, charge, or control of a child, and who has reasonable grounds for believing that a sexual offense has been committed in respect to a child shall report the grounds for his belief to a police officer as soon as reasonably practicable. Further, Section 2 states that any person who, without reasonable excuse, fails to comply with the requirements of subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $15,000 or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 7 years or both. That one's serious, boy. You're telling me? And if a man is to get the maximum sentence for that, 7 years, then here is what. That man making more jail than the person who committed the crime, you know. I ain't even making it up. It's just interpretation of the law. Anyway, really that talk. So, I have not heard of a case like that in recent times. And of course, that's interesting. Probably we'll have more like that. People, you are obligated under law in which we just mentioned, I hope you are paying attention, that if you have reasonable grounds to believe that a child under your care, in the family, anything like that, is being sexually abused, and I'm just, breaking it down for you, you must report that to the police ASAP, failing which you ending up like this in jail. I don't talk. All you. We are moving on. Suzette, how you doing? All you. It's in the papers segment. And this one, we are getting this one from the Informer. And a 40-year-old man from the village of River Road in St. George's, according to the Informer, has been charged. And he has been charged in connection with the brutal killing of his stepmother, whose body was discovered by her son inside a barrel on the ground floor of her home last Thursday. The accused, Keith Pear, alias Boyo, who was officially charged over the weekend with non-capital murder, making him the lone suspect in the death of the 65-year-old River Road businesswoman Patricia Honoré, alias Patsy, made his first court appearance before acting Chief Magistrate Teddy St. Louis at the St. George's Magistrates Court, and that was on Tuesday. Pear was not required to plead, given the charge against him is indictable. He was, however, remanded to Her Majesty's Prison and is due to make his second court appearance on February 24th, 2020. Meanwhile, as villagers continue to grapple with the shocking news and loss of the popular businesswoman, what led to her death remains anyone's guess. One villager told the Informer, quote, "I just can't imagine what could have driven the boy to do a thing like that. I'm just convinced that he is sick for true. Sources told the news desk it is believed that the issue surrounded property entitlement and who had ownership of the house left behind by Honore's husband, a former fisherman who died years ago. One villager said although Pear lived on the ground floor of the two-story building, he is often heard saying that his father left the house for him and people are doing what they want in it. Last Friday, we were told Honore made her usual trip to the market. However, sources said she was last seen alive by villagers on her return home just before 2 p.m. Informer was told finding it strange that his mother was not at home. Her son began searching inside of the house. However, getting to the base of the house, he came upon a barrel and out of curiosity looked to see what was inside, and there he got the shock of his life. His mother's lifeless body stuffed to the bottom of the barrel. Sources said villagers rushed to the scene shortly after as the alarm raised by the young man echoed throughout the village. The police was subsequently called in. The cause of death we were told was linked to strangulation. As it relates to why the body was placed inside a barrel could be anyone's guess. Pear was captured days later in the parish of St. Patrick by officers attached to the St. Patrick police station. During his brief stint in court on Tuesday, Pear was legally assisted by defense counsel Jerry Edwin. Now up against a life sentence if found guilty. Pear would remain behind bars until his next court date, which is on February 24th, 2020. Honore's death was the third homicide recorded in Grenada for the first month of the year 2020. All right, so let's move on. Where are we going now? Oh yeah, the next thing that we have to tell earlier about, boy, you know the Chinese doctor, I don't know if some of all you saw the clippings and so on about this Chinese doctor, the Chinese doctor who blew the whistle on this whole coronavirus thing. All you news is that he is dead. Now he tried to warn others about the Wuhan coronavirus. Right? Now, a 34-year-old doctor, you know, he raised the alarm about the novel coronavirus in December, posting in his medical school alumni group on the Chinese messaging app WeChat that 7 patients from a local seafood market had been diagnosed with a SARS-like illness and were quarantined in his hospital. Now, soon after he posted the message, he was accused of rumor mongering by the Wuhan police. He was one of several medics targeted by police for trying to blow the whistle on the deadly virus in the early weeks of the outbreak, which has sickened more than 28,000 people and killed more than 560. He was hospitalized on January 12th after contracting the virus from one of his patients, and he was confirmed to have the coronavirus on February 1st. Now, he was told, shh, stop, don't do what you're doing regarding that virus, like telling people about it like that. Now, he's a dead man. Now, they're saying that he died from the illness itself. And speaking of this, a baby in China's epidemic hit Wuhan city has been diagnosed with the novel coronavirus just 30 hours after being born, according to Chinese media. They're saying that this infant is the youngest person recorded as being infected by the virus. You understand? They say that the mother had tested positive for the virus before she gave birth. So this may help authorities understand the virus even more. Can it be transmitted from mother to child? Or could it be that that child contracted the virus as the mother and that child was bonding? Your guess is as good as mine, or as time progresses, maybe we will know more. Folks, we are moving on. We're not sticking tonight. Now, the next thing that we have to tell you about is that the Ministry of Health has placed 4 individuals under quarantine. Now, that is St. Lucia. All right? So, not only that Grenada is placing people under quarantine, but St. Lucia is now actually doing the same thing.
Public health officials have confirmed that 4 individuals are under quarantine in St. Lucia amid the outbreak of the Wuhan coronavirus and the WHO global public health emergency. Authorities in St. Lucia are putting measures in place out of an abundance of caution to ensure public safety. Word of the quarantine came during a question and answer session with the press at a media conference on Tuesday. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar-George on Monday confirmed travel restrictions on travelers coming from China included quarantines.
Has anyone been quarantined at home?
Yes, we have had persons quarantined at home.
What about
coming in, like recently?
Yes.
Okay, what about our returning students from China? What measures are in place for them?
Measures have been put in place for students who may be coming in. In our consultation with the Ministry of Education, we have 16 students in various provinces, and we have made arrangements and allocation to facilitate.
Okay. We're also getting reports that doctors are in fear of certain students coming in and they have been quarantined. Can you deny or confirm that?
Which doctors from?
We have a report saying that some students have returned and they're showing symptoms of respiratory ailments, but they have been quarantined at home because of fear from doctors and nurses. Can you deny?
No, this. First of all, anyone who has returned is completely asymptomatic. We have twice daily monitoring. We have no symptomatic cases coming from China. That's number one. And according to our protocol, if anybody comes from China and was symptomatic, they would be quarantined at a hospital and not at home. So I'm not aware of any reports of this.
So the person's quarantined at home, what's their status?
Everybody is doing well. Nobody has shown any signs and symptoms of disease.
How many persons we're speaking about?
4 persons.
Belmar-George, who was pressed for further details, maintained that the conference was to disseminate information about the ministry's attempts to strengthen capacity to deal with the threat of the virus.
I think we should not be going into this level of detail, just to let you know what our protocol is, and that so far we are not concerned. Everybody has been managed according to the guidelines, and we are following the protocol to ensure health and safety of everybody.
The CMO affirmed the ministry's commitment is to ensure the health and safety of St. Lucian citizens.
Dr. Belmar, we want you to take us back to the 4 persons you mentioned earlier that were quarantined. Where exactly were those people coming from, and what ports were they entering?
I think...
Why are we now hearing of
because it's not a risk to the public, and also we want to reduce any level of discrimination or victimization.
So if you could provide us with the answers to the questions so we could get some clarification.
Yeah, I think this is the amount of information we'll give on that, and we have ensured that our returning nationals, as indicated in the travel restriction, we cannot refuse nationals of our country, and we have put measures in place to monitor them during the 14 days, and this is what is presently happening.
So we're saying
the Ministry of Health officials are resolute that the 4 quarantined individuals pose no threat to the public. Solange Alfred, HTS News.
All right, thank you very much. And in all the respect to everyone and who has done whatever they had to do, that would also have been my approach. You see, you have to balance the public's right to know with respect and respect for people's privacy, and in the interest of not discriminating against someone and so on. You have to create a balance, and I've been monitoring how some countries are treating this whole thing, and I find some are going overboard and violating others just so that the public is assured that they're doing what they're supposed to do. You see, if somebody tells you, there's one time, right? There's one time I was in secondary school, and forgive me for sharing that example, but I need to do this. I was in secondary school, Form 1, and getting ready for games, and you know, getting ready for games, and you know, everybody like to give you talks about your manlyhood. You understand? And so the ladies were giving me talks about my manlyhood. I don't know how they know about my manlyhood. They're giving me talks. So you know what I did? To prove that they were wrong, I exposed my manlyhood. Say, what are you talking about? You just see me. You know what I mean? You know what happened then? I was brought into the principal's office, complained by the same those who were giving me talk, and was flogged. And the lesson learned here is, although people might be pressing you for information, providing that information may not be the right thing to do. Even if the majority of persons are forcing you to deliver that information. Because you have to ask yourself this, when you deliver that information, to what end are you delivering that information? What good is coming out of that bit of information? And is anyone being violated by doing this? You see, you have to take it from all angles. And I must admit that I have become in the past few days very uncomfortable with the approach and with the degree of information that is being shared as it relates to how some countries are treating the coronavirus. Yes? So I hope you can read between the lines, because I want to be, you know, at least responsible in what I'm saying. So please, let's calm down a bit, not because people tell you ting, that you have to go at all lengths to deliver, to prove or disprove something. Yeah? Because in the process, I think the way this should be treated is, and everyone should do this, advise the nation about your policies, what processes and so on that is going to be followed, not should be, but what is being followed, and that's that. No pictures taken out, no names given, no anything else about no one who comes in the country, and whether they quarantined, and where, and how much, and it's my 2 cents. My 2 cents. You understand? But anyway, lately that talk there. We moving on. So, Olia, how are we looking for time? There are a few things that's coming up. Now, Carriacou's Carnival is coming up. They're getting ready for the Soca Monarch semi-final and all that. And, oh, again, text and thing, boy, you're telling me, and I saying, Mikey, don't say that. Yeah, I don't like to be dishonest to myself. That's how I've been feeling lately. I just feel like, you know, anyway. So, all right, so let me see what we have for you, right? So there is this event coming up in the next few days happening in Carriacou. All right, the first ever silent event in Carriacou. DJs Kareem from Grenada, DJs Kenny, and the specialists. And admission $35, time 10 p.m. February 8th, 2020, CHS Center, Hillsborough. So you got to be a part of that. Yeah, I liked how the, you see, when you have confidence in what you're doing, they say Saul don't have to boast, Saul don't boast itself. When you have confidence in what you're doing, you just go ahead and do it. You see, the lady that we were just watching in St. Lucia, you see, yes, I know you will want the information, but you see, all that, that's not necessary. Because we are going into discriminatory grounds there and in violation grounds there when we take that kind of approach, when we go too far, just to prove that we're doing what we're supposed to do. You understand? This is my job. Trust that I'm doing the job to the best of my ability, and that's as much as I can tell you. These are the protocols that we are following. Any person, whether Grenadian or not, who comes into the country, whether St. Lucian or not, whether Trini or not, who comes in the country, and have had have had that particular history will be quarantined for 14 days. That was made effective 5 days ago. Full stop. No further details. All right, we're moving on. Now, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we've got the national report, and then we have the weather for you, and then we could go away, and then go, boy, all that time gone already? Yeah, no. Where's the timekeepers on the program? Listen, I find all of all of this independence.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
For me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
It's one of the most anticipated events in 2020, the Grenada Music Festival, June 5th to 7th, at the home of the festival, Quarantine Recreational Park.
Fresh as the summer breeze.
12 live bands, more than 16 dynamic performers, great food and local culture. The Grenada Music Festival, June 5th to 7th, bigger and better in 2020. Get ready.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grand Anse, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
Why not stay in? Turn off the alarm clock and sleep some more on your perfect mattress from Quartz. For the widest range of mattresses from the world's best brands, the best value guaranteed. Shop today and let our sleep experts help you to decide on the best option to suit your needs. At Quartz, we don't just sell mattresses, we're offering you the best night's sleep. So, sleep in a little on your new mattress from Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home.
St. Paul's Sports, Cultural and Development Organization presents St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza on Sunday, 9th February 2020 at the St. Paul's Community Center. Get breakfast from 6 a.m. and lunch from 12 noon. Enjoy performances by Dash, Mystic Band, Oasis Band, Laura Lisa, Conception Dance Theatre, Comanchero Steel Orchestra, Lisa McDonald, SPGS, PBC Choir, Touch of Grace, Vinue Dances, and much more. It's a day of food, craft exhibitions, robotics displays, fashion show, and so much more. It's the St. Paul's Independence Extravaganza.
The West Indies Cricket Championship Tournament is on and in full swing.
It's gone high and it's gone over the boundary. That's gone for 6.
Thursday, February 13th to Sunday, February 16th.
You only talk crazy like Donald Trump.
4 days of exciting cricket action at the Grenada National Cricket Stadium. The region's best go head-to-head. As the Windward Island Volcanoes takes on the Guyana Jaguars. Game starts 10 a.m. daily. Admission $10 on the gate. It's cricket, more cricket. At the Grenada National Cricket Stadium, Windward Island Volcanoes versus Guyana Jaguars. It's the West Indies Championship Tournament. Cricket fans, we will be seeing you there.
Yes, I. Hold on. Yes, and folks, we have the national report for you. And he cries, he says he wants to say hi. Say hi. We've got the national report for you, and following the national report, we will have You hear that? He said hi. Yeah, 6 months yesterday, and he's already talking. And he's a little journalist as well. He's a very inquisitive one, all right? So it is now time for the National Report, folks. Stay tuned for that. Tell him hi. Yes, it's time for him to go to sleep. He's a very late sleeper, by the way. So we're taking our National Report and then come back with the weather.
Ministry of Health quarantines a third person of interest. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Thursday, February 6, 2020, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Grenadian health officials have quarantined a third person. The traveler, who was a person of interest to the Ministry of Health, had arrived in Grenada on Wednesday afternoon and was screened by Port Health and airport authorities. During the process, medical experts conducted a probing interview, temperature checks, and with the assistance of immigration officials, reviewed travel documents that revealed a specific travel history, corroborating information that was already in the possession of Port Health authorities. The execution of the quarantine order on this third person occurred less than 76 hours after health officials had placed a student who had returned to the island from mainland China under quarantine on Monday, February 3, 2020. GIS can confirm that the individual in question was a Grenadian national traveling to the Philippines and was denied entry in Hong Kong and sent back to Grenada. The Philippines and Hong Kong have each seen one death from the coronavirus, and both countries have enforced strict travel bans. On mainland China, the number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus rose above 24,000 by the end of Tuesday. The Japanese government on Wednesday reported that 10 people on a cruise ship with about 3,700 passengers and crew aboard tested positive for the virus, and that everyone were likely to be kept on the ship for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the acting chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Martin, on Thursday told the GIS although the illness itself is mild, it is a serious issue that can have an increased burden of health to our nation.
As the matter of the coronavirus continues to unfold, we, in our medical response to the epidemic, were able to identify a traveler who was exposed by attempting to travel to the Philippines and was turned back in Hong Kong. We have since quarantined that individual, now bringing our numbers up to 3. We really want to impress upon people the seriousness of this matter of coronavirus. Although we recognize that the illness itself is mild, we do recognize it can have a potential for an increased burden of health to our nations. We do what we have to do and make sure that as public health professionals we're able to protect our nations and protect our people.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will deliver his annual address at the Independence Celebration on Friday. Dr. Mitchell is expected to speak on critical issues currently affecting the nation, including developments relating to the health and education sectors, as well as the country's infrastructure. Dr. Mitchell is also expected to address the proactive measures being taken locally to help ensure that the coronavirus does not penetrate our borders. Friday's Independence celebration at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium will also feature a military parade and cultural performances. Ahead of this national activity, many persons, including the Prime Minister, donned their patriotic colors on Thursday in honor of National Colors Day. The Prime Minister also spent a few minutes on Thursday observing some of the displays being exhibited as part of the 2020 Independence celebrations. There were impressive displays in the National Celebrations Committee Interministerial Competition on Thursday as part of the country's 46th anniversary of independence. Details in this report.
The various departments had displays that were in keeping with the theme of the country's 46th independence celebrations. Prepare for the future through empowerment, growth, and long-term sustainable development. The Department of Public Administration focused on the nutmeg. Speaking with the GIS on Thursday, Human Resource Officer at the DPA, Leenwall Parrott, explained the concept.
How it started, its innovation, the creativity, everything that goes along, the whole concept of sustainability and so. that goes along with the nutmeg. So as you look around, you will see the nutmeg tree. You will see also certain pictures depicting the concept of the nutmeg.
And is it that you took it all the way to the agro-processing stage with the raw material?
Of course. At the front, you will notice that we have all the nutmeg products from the different industries and so. So it's all the way. Everything you see here is just about nutmeg. Even the ladies, the costume, it depicts the nutmeg and so.
At the Cabinet Office, Policy Development Officer David Hopkin did the honors of explaining the exhibits.
We interpreted the theme for Independence. It speaks of empowerment and sustainable development, and we thought we should portray some of our people. So if you look at the displays, it's all speaking about how we can bring forth the creativity and innovation of our people. And by empowering our people, we have sustainable growth and development.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, Marina Jessamy, told the GIS that her ministry's objective was to highlight resilient infrastructure with a focus not only on roads but interlinkages with sectors such as agriculture, tourism, and the environment.
So you would see in our display that we have the trees that you could use as windbreaks. For example, we have a lot of coconut fronds. The palms are very good. We encourage persons to, when they design for building, to design for development, that you have enough space for coconut trees, for spice trees, for flowers, for palms. All these things are very good for supporting the soil against erosion. We also have a display on what climate resilience infrastructure is about in terms of retaining walls, the type of material we use to build the roads. And so we are the heart of the economy, and that is what our display is about.
Defending champions, the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs and Information had a display that they believed was impressive enough to retain the title for yet another year. Education Officer for District 3, Kathy N. James, explains. She says the concept is based on a book written by the ministry.
Our publishers, the ministers, Minister Pierre and Moses, our artistic designs or illustrators are the persons within the Ministry of Education. And we've started by beautifying and showing how special and how exciting Grenada is with our music. So our cover illustrates the beauty of Grenada. All right, and as you enter to chapter 1, you will see Grenada back in the days. So we talk about what is happening in Grenada back in the days, and we also look at the issue of pollution and how over time what it has been doing to our country. We move on to talk about the estates and how much persons were looking forward to working on the estates. We brought in also the long time ago classrooms where we show what was happening, the students on the slate, more chalk and talk.
James says the display is a true depiction of what was then and what is now.
Our passports have even changed for a period of time, so we are showcasing that as well. And we also are showcasing what the importance of tourism or sports tourism in all of this, and the issue of CVQ and TVET and how we are empowering our young people to fill the market out there. So we are doing all of that.
The competition forms part of the celebration of Grenada's 46th anniversary of independence. For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
This is the National Reports. More news after the break.
Grenada, it's time to celebrate our 46th anniversary as an independent nation as we prepare for the future through empowerment, growth, and long-term sustainable development. Let's show our true patriotism by participating in the following events. The National Cleanup Drive from February 1st to 6th. And wait, that's not all. The National Colors Day and Inter-Ministries Competition on February 6th. Then, on February 7th, we head to the Made in Grenada Expo and Military Parade at the Karani James Athletic Stadium. Happy 46th, Grenada!
Continuing the news, Grenada and India have signed an agreement to exempt visa requirement for holders of diplomatic and official passports. It means that holders of these passports will be able to stay in each other's territory for up to 90 days in any period of 100 days without a visa. High Commissioner of India, Sri Arun Kumar Sahu, says the signing will facilitate greater interaction between both governments.
This is a good beginning that we are doing, so that ease of movement of officials, at least in the beginning, will facilitate interaction more with both government and both government officials. And I hope that this will harbing bigger and better cooperations for the future India-Grenada relations.
Foreign Minister, the Honorable Peter David, who has visited 4 cities in India, says the signing is a first step in what he hopes is a step in enhanced cooperation.
India has a lot in common with Grenada. Certainly, you're quite a bit larger than we are, and you have many more people than we do, but you have an agricultural society. You have a society that has tourism as one of its important pillars. And certainly we can find ways of cooperation despite the differences inside. You are a developing country and we are a developing country. So I am sure we can find ways to cooperate. But the first step in this regard is to get persons moving between our two countries. And this signing today is a first step in that regard.
Finally, the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council is offering the nation healthier eating choices through its revised food-based dietary guidelines. It is warning against added sugar, alcohol, fried foods, and highly processed foods. We have more details in this report.
The health of our nation is the wealth of our nation. This is the message that is being pushed as the trial in state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique is presented with a guideline for proper eating habits from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council. Launched on Wednesday through funding from the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, was a revised edition of Grenada's food-based dietary guidelines. These food suggestions, which are recommended for persons above the age of 2, promote the choices of vegetables, staples, peas, beans, and nuts, food from animals, fruits, and a moderate amount of fats and oils. It highly recommends the use of getting at least 30 minutes of physical activity every day and refraining from the consumption of added sugar, alcohol, fried foods, and highly processed foods. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin speaks on the importance of implementing this guideline.
Let us implement this guideline because processed foods are laden with high fructose corn syrup. Everything that took a plane and a boat to get here have high fructose corn syrup in it and soybean products. The science is very clear that high fructose corn syrup and soybean sets you on a path to become diabetic. We need to implement the guidelines because there is phosphoric acid that is in all the beverages and sodas. Phosphoric acid causes calcium to be leached from the bones of our children, the teeth. We're damaging their teeth because of the soft drink that we give them. We're making them have weaker bones. We need to implement these guidelines because the science is clear. Colorful foods are the ones that helps to build our immune systems. It gives us the minerals that we need, the vitamins that we need. And even now, to avoid coronavirus, colored foods are what you need to eat to give your immune system the right amount of energy and sustenance it needs.
Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Yolan Bean Hosford, presented the featured address at the launch.
We live in an era where access to quality information, which promotes a healthy lifestyle, is at our fingertips. But in many cases, we choose to ignore or fail to heed such advice. Instead, we continue to be victims of the fast lane of a modern lifestyle to the detriment of ourselves and our families. The time has come for us to change our dietary habits, and today we are proud recipients of a blueprint, the revised food-based dietary guidelines. Therefore, I want to encourage all of us to see this piece of work not as a document to be remembered only when the time comes for another revision, but to put it into good use.
The launch, which was held at the Sir Eric Matthew Geary Botanical Gardens, was attended by Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade as she patronized the exhibition, which highlighted healthy local food choices. For the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Karima Lewis.
And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
All right, well, thank you very much, Leslie Ann, and everyone else who were part of the production of the National Report. And what we have for you now is the weather. Whoa, we have gone over our time. Oh boy, never a dull moment. All right, so we have the weather for you. Listen, folks, we got a little drizzle today. Eh? Nothing too much to talk about. You know, we got a little drizzle today, so we still have to somewhat be thankful for that. But let's see what the forecast is for tonight. Good. So, air temperature recorded at midday was just around 28.2 degrees Celsius. So, there's a medium chance of some light showers tonight. All right, we had some hazy conditions and winds are east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 14 to 24 miles per hour, gusting higher at times. Now seas moderate, waves 5 to 8 feet in open waters. A small craft advisory is in effect. That's it right there for your National Report could well show off. So that's it right there, folks. God bless you. Have yourselves a good time. Before we go, we have to say hello to Rose and Zaka, Dolores, Eunice, Shireen, Kireen. We have Mishi, Shum, Esther. We have as well with us Noreen, Abigail, Rachel, and everyone else, man. Sorry, my eyes are giving me some problems tonight. Rachel and Linton, her mom, Jennifer, and everyone else. Irma, Sherilyn, and everyone. Blessings. Rolanda, Ralda, and everyone on the program. Deborah, Eunice, did I say Eunice? Man, everyone, man, big up all yourself. We're going to come back. Well, not tomorrow, but the next time we're going to be on is on, well, yeah, we're going to be on tomorrow. Not Mikey Live, but we'll have the parade for you tomorrow, God's willing. And of course, what else? Let me see what else we have for you. Whatever reason we come online, we'll be coming. All right. So God bless you. And we have a series of lives coming up probably every Saturday. I can't tell you what it is yet, but excitement from now until Carnival. Expect to see major band launches on Mikey Live. Yes, you're going to get the first-hand experience of many of the mass bands for 2019. Well, the fancy mass, that is, right? For 2020. So we are going to touch base. All right. God bless you and your family. You've been such a lovely audience. I don't know what I would do without you. See you later.